finish.
What's wrong with it though?
No, yo, we going this shit cold today. What's going
Right,
on?
Going in the
I'm
cold
just
show.
diving in.
That's right. That's how it's supposed to be. Natural reactions today. Charlamagne, we on? We live?
Charlamagne, we live?
Speaking of Charlamagne, he has a podcast, not to promote him or anything, called Brilliant Idiots, but it's pretty funny, man. Andrew Schultz.
What is it called?
Brilliant Idiots. It's hilarious.
Really?
Stitcher?
Yeah. I don't know if it's on Stitcher. I know it's on SoundCloud.
Okay, I'm gonna
And
check it out.
iTunes. Yeah. But we're also getting on iTunes soon as well, and also we're here on YouTube. So you can check us out here. This is Let Me Finish, by the way, guys. Thanks for tuning in. The man in the middle of it all, your boy Jay Urban, as usual. Kicking it to my main man, Eric. What's up, son?
Same shit, different day.
And the return of Jonathan, who was absent last week. Actually, 2 weeks he's been gone. What's going on, John? Man?
I've been jet setting across the state of Texas doing my thing. I'm back though. I'm back.
Are you Stephen A. Smith now? We're going to have to start broadcasting you from remote locations. You're at like.
It may come to that point. It may come to that point.
Got the handcuffs on.
Speaking of live events, the NBA playoffs are going on right now. That's going to be our first topic today. As you can see, this is the current bracket. And there's a lot of parity, it seems like. Not that many people up 2-0. You have a couple of 1-1s, a lot of 1-1s, actually. So, guys, which one of these lower seeds, for instance, Golden State, Portland, Brooklyn, Atlanta, which one of these teams has the best chance of actually moving on in their series? Besides the obvious Washington, because they're up 2-0, but do you think the Bulls can even come back? What do you guys think? Who has the best chance to move on?
Of the lower seeds?
Yeah, the lower seeds?
Of the lower seeds, correct.
In both
sides.
Both sides?
Portland. I'll give Portland can beat Houston. And on the East, I don't know, man. It's kind of going like it's supposed to be going. I don't know. I want to say Atlanta might put them out, but I don't know. I can't really see no parity in the East, but I think Portland can knock off Houston.
In the West, yeah. I mean, I actually kind of think Memphis. I think Memphis is going to push OKC to the max. I think OKC is going to have just enough firepower. But I agree with Eric. I'll give it to Portland. I think LaMarcus Aldridge is a beast down there. I don't think Dwight.
Really?
I don't think Dwight will maintain what he. I mean, he's having a great game so far tonight. I don't think he'll maintain that.
But the thing is, Portland played out of their mind, and they had to win in overtime in that game.
Dwight Howard's playing out of his mind. It's still a close game. It's still not enough. And on the East, I think Brooklyn, technically, they're the lower seed, even though they're the lower seed team. So I'll go with Brooklyn. I think their experience will pull them out. DeMar DeRozan played out of his mind the other night.
Jason Boyd.
I don't see that happening. Yeah, DeMar, you got to give it to DeMar DeRozan.
That's Jason
He showed out. He showed out.
The next Kobe.
While Drizzy had a lint roller, he showed out.
So Eric, if you have to book it and you put it on one team from each conference, your team is Portland and.
I agree with John. Brooklyn.
Portland and Brooklyn. All right, so you got both going Portland and Brooklyn. I think I'm gonna go with Golden State. I think in the West, I think they can beat the Clippers, and I think they will beat the Clippers. Although that last game wasn't really.
That was an embarrassment.
Competitive, but that's just.
That was a joke.
So I'm going Golden State, and I guess of course Washington. I'll just lean with Washington right there. I don't see anyone else out the East making it out. I think Toronto actually might win that series. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Okay.
All right, guys, ready to move on?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, topic number 2. Indiana Pacers are unraveling in front of our face, guys. Even though they actually had a comeback win yesterday where they pulled away in the second half, that first half was still really competitive and didn't really go the Pacers' way. But some news came out today and said that before game 1, on Friday, Lance Stevenson and Evan Turner got into a fist fight. The report says 2 Indiana Pacers dragged a cursing cut Evan Turner out of the Bankers Life Fieldhouse court, untangling him from a practice floor fistfight with teammate Lance Stevenson. The report actually went on to, interview some players, and Candace Buckner started tweeting some of that on Twitter, saying David West said it's not uncommon, it wasn't even a fight. Roy Hibbert trying to downplay it, saying everyone has ups and downs, myself included. He's very fiery, he's very focused, talking about Lance Stevenson. And Evan Turner, for his part, was asked about the altercation. He just said, it was just a tangle up, and that was it. Also, there were no punches thrown, end quote. Evan Turner said the whole thing that punches got thrown and all this nonsense occurred, that never happened. And for the coach's part, Frank Vogel, he described it the same way Evan Turner did, as just guys getting tangled up on the practice floor, nothing more than that. But then this report came out, and it started with Stephen A. Smith on First Take, and then I guess it kind of snowballed. Everyone started picking it up. Frank Vogel's quote unquote coaching for his job in this series. A lot of people saying that he could be fired. Even if they do win this series and they lose in the next one or something like that, Frank Vogel's job is on the line as head coach of the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers, if you don't remember, started 40-11, and they were just 16-15 the rest of the way, really a 500 team down the stretch. So, guys, do you think Frank Vogel's job should be on the line in light of this fight, and also, the fight that he's having right now with the Atlanta Hawks, an 8 seed that's way under 500? Do you think his job should be on the line?
I mean, Frank Vogel, I guess he ain't no worse than me, a mediocre coach. I mean, that's
a mediocre coach. Wow.
I mean, he's a mediocre coach. You know what I'm saying, though, man? Come on, man. He letting Atlanta push him to the brink. Come on, man. He got all-stars, supposed to be all-stars over there, the best two-way player in the league, and you can't motivate these people to play. Hell yeah, your job should be on the line. If you lose to Atlanta, if I was Larry Bird and he leaves to Atlanta, and we lose in Atlanta, I wouldn't even let him fly on the plane home.
Wow.
I wouldn't call Frank Vogel a mediocre. I mean, since he started coaching there, they've been on a steady improvement each and every year. Like, you can't just say his job. He's a mediocre coach. I think he's a solid rising young coach in this league. He's growing along with this team. They're both the coach and the players are going through some growing pains right now. And Atlanta, they won game 1. They made adjustments. And who won game 2? If they go on to win this series and advance to the Eastern Conference Finals, then what? What are we going to say then?
Larry Bird doesn't care about what's happening now. He don't care about what happened 2 months ago.
I think coaches sometimes get a lot of credit for wins and too much of the blame for the losses. I mean, the team is not doing their part. I don't think it's the coach for not motivating the team or whatever like that. The team just doesn't like each other at this point. I don't think it's anything that Frank Vogel can do. He's not Phil Jackson. He's not a Zen master by any means, but I don't think that this is his fault.
No, it's not his fault by any chance. That's not.
Whose fault is it?
The players got to take fault. Yeah, the players have to take some type of responsibility.
I mean, these are the guys who said that we want home court advantage. We want to play Miami, and this is how you're playing against Atlanta. Like, they have to take accountability.
They put their own foot in their mouth with that.
And they have to share some of the blame.
I mean, but the players ain't gonna go nowhere. It's gonna be the coach go first.
Well, that doesn't make it right.
He's been on a steady rise. Each season he's better. I mean, that's undoubted. Each season the team has gotten better under him.
You can't say they haven't improved since he's gotten there. They've improved. Roy Hibbert, Hibbert improved him to an all-star.
Please don't mention that bitch on this show right now.
Oh my goodness.
Paul George is elevated to an all-star under Frank Vogel. Has he
not?
He's
a big 7'2".
I mean, Lance Stevenson has developed into a solid pro. Who would have thought that? Come on.
He is a 7'2", 270-pound bum.
So you're on the record that. What does he have to get to not be fired, Eric? Does he have to get to the finals? Does he have to get to the Eastern Conference Finals? Like, what does he have to get to for you not to fire him?
I mean, personally, honestly, he's not Larry Bird's pick. He was there when Larry Bird got there. But yeah, if he leaves to Atlanta, it's over.
Okay, so he has to get through this round for sure.
Definitely.
Okay.
And then who they play next?
They will play the winner. They'll play the winner of the Wizards and the Chicago Bulls series. We'll get to that a little bit later, but
if he definitely loses to the Wizards, it's over. That's out of there.
John, you're keeping him if he loses to the Hawks either way?
I'm keeping him, but knowing that this next year is very important. If you don't, you got to show me something. You have to take that next step next year. And if you're not, that's it.
All right. Switching topics, sports, you can say. We're going to take it to football. Merrill Hodge went on ESPN, and he decided that he is going to have a little rip session of Jadeveon Clowney. Merrill Hodge, who has made some ridiculous picks in the past, and has said some ridiculous things on ESPN. We won't get into that on air, but we'll definitely have to talk about that afterwards. And you can pick our Twitter feeds up for that video. I'm going to post a little bit later about Merrill Hodge. But back to him. He decided to clown Clowney saying, quote, Clowney as a football player is not very good. Amazing athlete. Don't get confused by being an athlete and being a good football player. He's not a very good football player. He continued with some other quotables in this little ESPN piece that he said, I would draft Khalil Mack and have a better team and a better player. I take him, talking about Khalil Mack, in a heartbeat and wouldn't even sweat about it. Even if he, Clowney, gets better, he still won't be better than Khalil Mack on the football field, talking about his pad levels and his fundamentals basically as a football player, saying even if he gets better at that, he still wouldn't be better than Khalil Mack. Guys, is this Merrill Hodge just hating, or does he actually have a point?
Man, what is this, like the bum episode of Let Me Finish or something? This motherfucker is terrible. Do y'all remember Merrill Hodge?
Yeah, I do remember Merrill Hodge.
He's terrible. You know what I mean? He's terrible, man. I swear, man. Just throw his ass in the boat with Tim Legler and the rest of them bum-ass motherfuckers that ain't do shit.
I actually like Tim Legler, actually. He knows what he's talking about.
He's critical now. He knows what he's dropping 20 a game.
He knows what he talks about.
Hodge don't know what he's doing. My whole thing is, man, put the game tape on. I don't care nothing about no pre-workout, no combine. Put the game tape on.
And he used the word average, but I think in your vernacular, Eric, that would be categorized as marginal. So do you think Clowney is going to be a marginal player?
Yeah, I'm saying of course. I mean, I'm not saying Khalil Mack is not a good player. I'm not saying that. But yo, check this out. The competition he going up against at the University of Buffalo, damn sure ain't fucking with the talent in the SEC. You know what I'm saying? And my man was getting double and triple team, man. Come on, man. I'm not saying Khalil Mack won't turn out to be a great player. He could be. But come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's making it seem like Khalil Mack is the epitome of fun.
Did we lose him?
Nah, man.
I don't see that big of a difference fundamentally. They all look the same. I mean, they all look like they're athletically gifted. So I don't see how Khalil Mack is sort of like the big fundamental. So yeah. I think Merrill Hodge is definitely he's this is a little bit of hatred for
he on that medical.
That's what it is.
Medical.
That's what it is.
More likely to be marginal, Khalil Mack or Jadeveon Clowney?
Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack, okay.
Yeah.
All right, moving the show right along. I agree with you guys. I don't have anything else to say. Merrill Hodge never gets any credibility in my mind. So we're basically just talking about nothing. Time for Hot Roots. Guys, we talked about heading towards this. In the East, the two lower seeds are beating, you're talking about the 3-6 and the 4-5 matchup. Which one of these three teams, Brooklyn, Toronto, and the Wizards, Chicago, can we all agree is just about done? Yeah. It's highly unlikely that they'll come back to win that series. But so we'll just take them out of the equation for now. But Washington versus the Pacers, or is it going to be Brooklyn and Toronto versus the Heat? Which underdog has a better chance of doing the upset in the semifinals? Is it the Wizards, or is it going to be the winner of that Brooklyn-Toronto series?
Yeah, I want to say this real fast. The Wizards match up real good with the Pacers. And the one problem that the Pacers will have is against John Wall, because they don't have nobody who can stick him. I mean, that's going to be a nice series. I really slept on the Wizards this year. They looking real good, man. I pick the Wizards.
They're looking good at the right time of the year, too, right?
Yeah, they are. They are looking dangerous. Bill and Wall, that's a dangerous. And Ariza's knocking down threes like crazy.
And Nene playing.
And Gortat. Yeah. But you know what?
But John, what about Brooklyn, who went 4-0 against the Heat?
I was going to say, you can't deny that Brooklyn has the confidence, and they're not going to be scared of Miami. They have the experience. They have guys who can put the ball in the basket. They can definitely cause some problems for Miami. So I would say Brooklyn, actually.
I think that's a really good question. I think it's a really tough question as well.
It's tough,
especially because Washington has been up and down all year. They look like they have the parts now. Exactly. But you never know where they can just turn back into the young players.
I mean, they are going against a Chicago team that's lacking offensively.
And who knows, like if Brooklyn's going to be old or if Brooklyn's going to be inspired to play. And we all know we can't depend on DeMar DeRozan. Please.
That's your boy,
DeMar.
I think I'd be inclined to go with the Heat Killers, the Brooklyn Nets, just because I just have a wonderful feeling about the Nets this season. I think they're a good team, and I'm rooting for Paul Pierce probably.
I hope we see that series. I hope we do see it though.
All right, guys. Moving on the hot root section, keeping it with basketball though. Knicks president and general manager Phil Jackson said in an interview that the San Antonio Spurs are not a dynasty. And their whole run in the 2000s were not dynastical. Dynastical, is that a word? Is that a term, John? You're a journalism major. Is that a term?
That's not a term.
Okay. Talking about Carmelo possibly taking more money to remain on the team, Phil Jackson said Duncan making the salary he's making after being part of a dynasty. Then he corrected himself, said not a dynasty. I wouldn't call San Antonio a dynasty. A force, a great force. They haven't been able to win consecutive championships, but they've always been there. San Antonio has had a wonderful run through Tim's tenure there as a player. He's agreed to take a salary cut so other players can play with him so they can be this good. And that's the beginning of team play. Guys, is this a diss to San Antonio, or was San Antonio a dynasty because they never won back-to-backs?
I am the biggest. I'm probably I'm the big San Antonio supporter, and this is a diss to me.
That's a diss?
In terms of a dynasty, I think San Antonio has had sustained success over the last, how many years has Duncan been in the league? 16.
They've had a dynasty.
They've had sustained success. They are the gold standard in the NBA, I think.
But what he said was he kept it 100.
They haven't won back to back, but they've won.
They ain't won 3 in a row.
They don't won 2 in a row.
Does that make you a dynasty though?
Hell yeah.
You think
John,
so?
I think it's hard to say you've never won at least one back-to-back. Like not even three people, just one back-to-back.
But you've won 4 over a certain period of time. That's
4 over 7 years, but never back-to-back.
And you sustained a certain level of success, though.
So let me ask you this, John.
They haven't shown any weakness as a franchise.
So is Miami a dynasty now? Because Dwayne Wade technically has been on all 3 championship teams.
Well, according to your definition, they are because they went back-to-back.
I mean, but I'm saying though, is that a dynasty in your opinion?
I don't think just winning back-to-backs is a dynasty. I don't agree with that.
I think the run that San Antonio has had, they haven't. What's like saying that they've had a losing record? Like they've been successful over the last 15 years. Like you can't debate that.
I think he said it perfectly. I think force is what they are. I don't think they're a dynasty. For a dynasty, you have to literally dominate for multiple years, and they did not win in multiple years, so I can't say they dominated in multiple years. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's kind of like, do you think the Pistons were a dynasty in the 80s and early 90s? Think they were a dynasty? They just won 1 back-to-back? Yeah, I don't think they were a dynasty. They were a force. I think they were a force.
Now with them, they in the catch-22 because they won it in 89, 90. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they caught at the end. Like,
and they went to 3 straight
in the
finals.
80s, but I'm saying in the 80s, you can't.
Are the Patriots a dynasty?
Boston and LA were dynasty.
Are the Patriots a dynasty?
No,
they're not.
I think they were a dynasty from 2000 to 2004. But after that, I mean, they haven't won anything since 2004. How can you be a dynasty? What have they won? They won nothing. They're a force. A great force.
I think if there's any franchise being close to a dynasty at the moment, San Antonio's it.
Hashtag great force. All right, and last but not least in the hot roots, we're going to talk a little baseball. Albert Pujols hit his 500th career home run. He is part of the 500 club. He's the first major leaguer to hit 499 and 500 in the same game. He did it in, I think, the first and the fourth innings, respectively, something like that. And at age 34, he is also the third youngest to get to 500. Alex Rodriguez, who probably will have his records erased, and Jimmy Fox were both 32 when they broke the 500 threshold. And he also leads the league right now in home runs with 8 home runs. Guys, on an impression meter, are you impressed? One scale of 1 to 10 with Albert Pujols' 500th home run. It wasn't really made a big deal of. Eric, what do you think?
Oh hell yeah, that's one hell of an accomplishment. I'm just tripping off the idiot that threw the ball back when he hit the motherfucker. That was crazy. You know how much money he gave up? You know what I'm saying? But no, he definitely deserved. Yeah, he was 500 homers, man. Hell yeah.
But isn't it weird that it doesn't get the same coverage it used to, John? I mean, like, look at when Griffey hit his 500. Like, it was like major. Like Bonds hitting 500 was major.
I don't want to cut you off, John, but he's in a non-baseball town. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad to say he's Spanish. You know what I'm saying? If that was a white boy, man, they'd be having parades and shit all for it, man. You know what I mean? It's just that
do you think that's what it is, John? I mean, he was in St. Louis, arguably the biggest baseball town for the first 10 years of his career.
Yeah, I think if he was in St. Louis, it would be a way bigger deal. I mean, he's on the West Coast too. That plays a part.
And when he's playing it, they're not a baseball town.
And let's be honest, over the last year or so, he hasn't been Albert Pujols per se. You know, he hasn't been the Pujols we've grown to know. So I think that plays a part in it too. So it's like, he hasn't really been on our radar, really, has he? I mean, it's like it's sort of like.
Honestly, I didn't even really think he was that close.
It's sort of like it crept up on. It's like, oh,
it crept up on you because he's been so solid for so many years. You kind of forget that know he's kind of like Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera's up there. He's got like 387 or something like that. He's almost he's moving up there too.
I think if he was in a Dodger uniform, it'd have been a bigger deal.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's part of the team.
I mean, he hasn't been as great as he was though over the last year.
Yeah, he had 2 bad years.
Yeah.
And I think it hurt that the first year he came over there was a bad year. Like
exactly. So it's like
splash was a bad splash.
He's not in the front of our minds at the moment. So
although he did leave right after winning the World Series, remember that?
Yeah.
Fresh off the World Series win. All right, time for timeout round, guys. We're gonna start you off with best backcourt. You guys ready for this one?
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Best backcourt in the NBA playoffs right now. Your choices are up on the screen, east up top, west down the bottom. Give me your best backcourt. Is it Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan?
Oh, sleeper.
Bradley Beal, John Wall, Darren Williams, Joe Johnson, Splash Brothers, Curry and Thompson. Is it the old guys, Manu and Tony Parker, or is it Patrick Beverly and James Harden? Who is the best backcourt right now?
Hold on, man. First off, why you ain't got my Carolina boy in San Antonio? He started.
Who, Danny Green?
Yeah, man.
Definitely does start.
Yeah, I'm not talking about starters, but I'm talking about down the crunch. What two do you want in your backcourt? You don't want no Danny Green instead of Manu Ginobili.
Let me show love to Patrick Beverly, though. I love that guy's game. I digress, though. But
that's how you going with Beverly, and that's your boy. That's your boy now.
Nah, it is my boy though. I love how he plays. But I'm gonna go with the Splash Brothers, man. I think.
Super Splash Brothers, Curry and Thompson. I know Eric's not gonna pick them,
I think they're so dangerous as shooters, and Stephen Curry with he can beat you off the dribble. It's just there's no way you can stop those two guys, and they pose so many problems. I think they're the most dynamic scoring backcourt right now in the league, so I'm gonna go with those two.
I'm entitled to agree with you because I'm a big Steph Curry fan, superstar on the rise. Eric,
y'all picked them because both of y'all light skinned.
What? This is what's keeping us as black people divided. We need to stop that.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all picked them because y'all light skinned. That's all. You know what I'm saying?
Coming back, son. We in there again in the league.
I mean, Washington backcourt rolling right now.
They're on a rise. Come on.
I mean, we going by this playoffs right now.
It's playoffs, yeah.
Yeah, I got to go with Washington right now at this point. They rolling.
Going with Washington. Bradley Beal and John Wall.
I mean, they couldn't. I mean, y'all always talking about your boy Tom Thibodeau. He couldn't stop Bradley Beal.
I'm hurting for Thibs right now.
He dropped 26 on you.
Look, Thibs has a lot of injuries. It's not his fault.
This is hurting. I'm still holding out hope for Thibs though. I think they're gonna.
He got snubbed again this year too.
Yeah, he should have won Coach of the Year, but Popovich wins it.
Pop, let's get it.
Time. Give me a break.
Dynasty.
Dynasty, y'all die. Better year, guys. Who's going to have the better year? The two teams that are opening the season in the NFL, Seahawks and Packers playing the opener. Who will have the better year in the NFL? The season, will it be the Seahawks or will it be the Green Bay Packers? Who you guys going with? Seahawks just made a Super Bowl, but a lot of teams had that Super Bowl hangover.
I still think Seattle, they're dominant defensively. I think having Percy Harvin back healthy we saw what he did in Super Bowl and limited, just coming back. So I think having Percy Harvin for another year is going to make me even more dangerous. So I'm going to go with Seattle.
Don't you think Aaron Rodgers is tired of losing? Like, come on. I think
respect the A-Rod. We definitely respect the belt.
You don't think A-Rod's going to have them on a mission this year?
No, we respect the belt. That was my MVP pick this past year.
I know. You dumping on him, Eric. Who you got?
I just said Seattle's going to. I think they'll have the better year. I still think they'll have the better year though.
I'm gonna go with Seattle, man. It just seems like, man, whoever leaves, man, they just replace them. It just like they rolling with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go with Seattle. And then, when you look at the Packers, they lost their tight end, they lost a wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? They lost a couple linemen. I don't know, man.
I'm still not sold on that defense.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say the Packers bucket. Remember, I said it first.
Yeah, he's been talking about the Packers for years.
Third timeout question, guys. Fair or foul? Is it fair or is it foul that the ex-cheerleaders are suing the NFL? The NFL over, actually the Buffalo Bills, I should say, overpay. A lot of them only made $150 all season long, and hiding things now. They say that they receive paperwork, behavior rules on matters ranging as wide as how to properly eat soup, in addition to how to properly wash your intimate areas and how often to change tampons and stuff like that. They say they also reportedly face weekly quote-unquote jiggle tests to ensure that they were up to performing. Now, they say the treatment we endured was unacceptable, and the public needs to know and understand the situation that we were in. So, guys, is it fair or is it foul that the NFL, or I shouldn't say the NFL, the Buffalo Bills made their cheerleaders do these things?
In all the years of cheerleading, why is this the first time something like this is coming out? Why, I mean...
Well, the Ravens had a complaint about, what was it, last year, didn't they? They had a little complaint like this. Kind of like the same thing. They didn't get paid. A lot of they getting paid on the minimum wage and stuff.
They knew what they were getting themselves into, right or wrong. Like, you sign that dotted line, like, I mean, you know what you're getting. Come on, let's be honest. You know what you're getting into.
Yeah, that's straight pimping, my dude. You know what I'm saying? Come on. We could have had a couple of these cheerleaders at the crib. You know what I'm saying?
Face weekly jiggle test.
You think it's pimp? I don't think it's pimp. It's not pimping.
Pimping, like,
hold on, yo. Listen to what I'm saying to you, yo. They're getting $150, yo. You know what I'm saying? $150 a game? Come on, cuz. They can go to the strip club and make that in a couple hours.
They better put a smile on their face. Like,
$150?
If they want to provide you classes, etiquette classes and all that stuff, embrace it.
Yo, for $150, Doug, I have up in there shaking it halftime. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that's money.
So you think it's foul, Eric? John, you think it's
foul, Doug? Yo, come on, $150? You know how many strippers we can get for $150?
Listen, the Bills are a franchise.
What's wrong with having rules about
the contract? If I'm the owner and the cheerleader signed a contract, you're under my rule.
Exactly, that's the thing. I kind of agree with you there, John, because if you're representing my franchise as a cheerleader, like you are the representation of our franchise. So you have to look a certain way. I can say in the jiggle test, but not.
The players go through it too. They got to go through different tests and all that good stuff. And lessons. I'm
gonna say this for the Buffalo Bill cheerleaders for y'all. Yo, both of y'all are scumbags.
I'm a scumbag. I did not disrespect anybody. I'm a scumbag.
Yeah, you gonna pay $150?
I didn't say the salary was okay. I just said what they complained about.
No, you can't call that a salary. $150 is salary.
I'm not complaining about what they're making.
Yo, then you gonna have to. Then you gonna say you gotta teach a grown woman how to put a tampon in. Yo, you a scumbag, yo.
How is that a scumbag?
Yo, you a scumbag. I can't believe you, John. Go read your Bible.
How is that a scumbag? They signed the contract. They signed the contract.
Go read your Bible right now, John.
All right, guys, you ready? Return the worst look. Y'all ready? Return the worst look.
You already know it's Portis.
All right, guys, we have the reigning champion, Clinton
Portis. How many weeks has he won?
His house. 4 weeks.
I beat him, yo.
Just give him the belt.
He is 4-0. He's got the belt above him right now.
Championship
belt above him.
Yo, this nigga got on leggings with.
Put him in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. When can we put him on? At what point can we put him in the Hall of Fame?
He got to win 10 straight, right?
10 straight.
Yeah, he got on some leggings.
I want him to make the Hall of Fame. I need that.
He has won 4 straight weeks, guys, if you haven't been watching. Is it Clinton Portis, or is it his challenger this week?
I'll be upset.
Hashtag Fat Phil. Phil Jackson seen out in the streets with his flannel on and the shirt.
Phil's chilling. He's of the people right now.
Is it hashtag Fat Phil in this shirt? Oh, that's a terrible shirt. Or is it Clinton Portis?
Clinton Portis.
Phil's up the people right now. Clinton,
y'all still going on Clinton.
Clinton Portis.
God, I thought I had a good one this week.
Unless let me tell you something. For me to not vote for Clinton Portis, you might find somebody like Drag or something.
Clinton's the first ballot Hall of Famer of worst look.
So we have to go Dennis Rodman level for someone to be Clinton Portis.
You gotta go like Ricky Williams' wedding dress. Yeah. That's what you gotta get.
Yeah, and no, that ain't even beating that, yo. Come on.
Yeah, Ricky Williams' wedding dress definitely be Clinton Portis.
Yeah,
that's not debatable. That has to be a limit.
Yo, if
he has leggings,
in a wedding dress, if Chris Bosh showed up in a wedding dress, that wouldn't be Clinton Portis.
I think it definitely will.
Yeah.
If Chris Bosh had a wedding dress on,
if Chris Bosh takes that champagne to the head like he did last year again.
Yo, that was a year before last.
Anything involving Chris Bosh is gonna win. I get you.
Yo, this nigga got on leggings and some slippery Earls, yo.
Nah, Phil's just chilling. He's with the people.
Yo, that's hashtag Fat Phil. You can't even see his gut, so it don't even matter.
Still touching the beat.
You can't see. You can see it right there.
His gut's clear.
I'm talking about you can't see his gut like out his shirt.
He's touching the streets though.
Yeah.
You can't be mad at that.
Nah, it's definitely
No hashtag Fat Phil. Hashtag Fat Phil's gone.
Phil's chilling.
All right, guys. This has been another edition of Let Me Finish. That's the show. Thanks for tuning in. You guys had a good time. Got any shout-outs?
Yeah. Yeah, I got one shout-out. Don't kiss them hoes in the mouth unless you got to.
Don't kiss them hoes in the mouth unless you got to.
Like, so you're August Alsina right now. Like, that's who you are?
Who?
August Alsina. I think he's like a rapper or something like that. What is he?
That's one of his lines?
Yeah, he said he never kissed not hoes. He doesn't kiss girls in the mouth on the first date. He said that's nasty.
Okay.
Don't kiss them hoes in the mouth unless you got to.
So on the second date, it's okay?
He said he'll think about it.
Okay, I get it.
Shout out to Soulja Boy. He's trying to make a comeback. I'm really supportive. Yeah,
bang bang.
His career.
Okay.
Shout out to Soulja Boy. And for Eric, for John, you got any other shout outs because we about to be out.
Like the musical game is thriving right now, so shout outs to that.
Shout out to Blue Rain Man, Green Screen Steve. My hoodie's supposed to be here on Friday. I will be awaiting that.
We're waiting for Let Me Finish swag. Where's our swag at?
4 minutes in the making.
Shout out to that big bum Roy Hibbert, you big dummy.
Here we go.
Hey, shout out to PG with 27. Almost had a triple-double.
Whatever.
Shout out to Skip Bayless, calls him CP0, the elite player that Eric would take number 1 if they had to redraft right now of anyone in the league. You guys have a wonderful night. This is Let Me Finish. We out.